Hey everybody, welcome to Moonstone Botanicals. This is a cannabis kind of 101 vibe, and we're going to talk about how we roll. And listen, rolling a joint is different for everybody. It is something that I didn't always know how to do. I was very ashamed of not being able to roll, but you know what? It's not that hard. It takes a little practice, and there are some pros to it. First of all, when I sesh, I like to light a candle. I like to set my intention. I got my little incense here. I'm taking a moment. If you know, our whole thing is looking let go, light up. And so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I like to add a filter to my joints. Not everybody does. Raw has these little packs. It's basically a bunch of pieces of cardboard that are long like this. And then I'm using a king size paper from Raw as well. There's lots of different brands. You can look up what you like. But yeah, as far as efficiency, getting the most medication out of your flower, this is not the most efficient way, and it uses a lot of product, but it is one of my favorite ways. Also, it's very portable. All you need is your papers, your flower, you know, your buds, and you're good to go. You don't have to have all these pieces and things, because cleaning pieces can be a whole thing. Now, I'm not a filter expert. I just do what I can to make sure that it's not mashed up together. There's airflow. You should be able to blow through it. You know what I mean? You get the idea. Also, you don't want it to be too big or too small, because it's going to set the size for the base of your joint. Now, I taper my joints just a little bit because I like a really tight fit around the piece, and that's how it goes. But mind you, there's a lot of ways to do this. There's no just one right way. But I like to start with a tray, which this is a vintage tray. I collect and sell these. Yeah, it's probably not used for this originally, but it works great now. I drop my little filter right there, and sometimes I'll even fold in. This was a trick that Cullen actually taught me, I'm pretty sure. Fold in to sometimes give myself a little bit of extra structure. But I like to leave the filter kind of right on that middle seam, and then I just put way too much flour. I'd rather have more in there than too little, because I'm going to basically shape it to be the shape that I want. And now this is like, I think people try to roll like one time. I feel like this is with makeup and art, and you go, man, I don't know how to do this. I don't get the concept of it. But your fingers haven't learned the textures, and you haven't smoked a bad joint that you rolled and realized that it was because it was too loose or too tight. Like, you get that stuff over time, and it's just silly to feel bad about not knowing what you don't know. Okay, so I like to kind of hold it like this and press everything together to start the process of kind of compacting that flour to be in the shape that I want. So I press it down, and then I kind of just roll the papers like this until it gets this kind of like cone shape. And once we're there, which is kind of hard to explain, but basically I'm just, that's why you do it over a tray, moving it back and forth. And then once you feel comfortable, like, okay, if you look inside, you can see what it's kind of shaping out as. Can you see that? That's what's happening, is it's kind of becoming that cigarette shape as you're doing that process. And then the hardest part, in my opinion, now ladies, if you have acrylics, it makes it way easier. When I have long nails, I feel like I'm a joint rolling queen, because your little thumbnail can poke it in. And some people like to fold it in at the middle. I like to actually fold it in closer to the tip, because I'm still like learning to get it super tight. And then I kind of pull this here to tauten it up, to make sure that the rest of it is tucking in too. And now look, I've got it in, I've pulled this to keep it tight, and then I'm gonna come in. And now if you're sharing with other people, you could use a little water here. You could get a little paintbrush, dip it in some water, and lick that gum tape. But at Olive Garden, when you're here, you're family. So we're just gonna go in. You don't need to watch that. Sometimes I hate watching people lick their joints. Look, you lick it, okay? It's not anything that you can't see somewhere else, so I don't feel bad. So now, if I get any extra paper on the end, I kind of push that down, and I don't mind it, because it kind of holds everything together. Now, the paper is a little bit looser around the cardboard than I'd like, but we're not gonna be upset about it. Then I like to pack it a little bit, not too much. I forgot a packing tool. Yeah, I can use that, that's perfect. Here's a paintbrush. When I pack these, so now I don't want to add anything else into it, because number one, this thing's fucking huge. But I like to actually pull the paper up, thank you, so that I'm pulling the paper while pushing. Oh, this will actually work better. While I'm pushing the flower down. I'm trying not to do it too much because you can rip your wet paper too, but this is, I found that I get a much tight, and then I like to come down here and make sure, like, if it feels loose down here and tight up here, I just kind of massage it. I kind of try to coax things where I want them to be, and you play with it. You play with it over time to figure out what you like about, you know, your different ways. And look, I'm just making it like this. Again, evening it out, pushing it down. Oh, this is a poker that you get. Find that the back of an Apple pencil works really well. People don't like when you just use their Apple pencils for doing that. And then I like to just use it like a little cup, top it off. If I'm feeling naughty, get some keef in there. But really, again, this is a lot of product. And now I like to twist the end. And the reason I twist the end is because I like to kind of compact it a little bit more. Some people like to leave it open because it's easier to light, but this is my tutorial. So I like to twist the end, and kind of like when you do a beef Wellington, you know, they roll that shit up in that plastic and they shove it together. I feel like it does the same thing for me. I'm kind of moving that product back, and then I'll kind of fluff it out, and maybe even, now mind you, this is way too big of a paper for the type of joint, but there's a few of us here. We don't need to have that thing filled to the max. But there you go. I mean, it takes a little time, but once you start doing it, I think it's a lot of fun. And also it's a craft, like it's a plant. I feel like this is a beautiful way to understand it. People with coffee understand, right? AeroPress or mocha pot, all these different ways. But what you don't understand is, like, this is sacred to us, and this is important. But I don't know, how do you roll? What do you think? Are you intimidated by it? Do you know how? Look, you can light it just like that. This is what Cullen taught me. Now, another thing about this is you want that first light. See how it's not picking up evenly? There's a lot of ways to probably do this better. This is just how I do it. I just try to get it lit more, so it's a little bit more even. And that's how I roll a joint. Hey, if you like this content, if this is helpful to you, please help us out. Like this video, comment down below, subscribe to this channel. And if you made it this far to the video, comment the letter J down below. Just comment the letter J. No one will know, but we'll know that you are amazing, and we're so grateful for you here. Also, if you like this tray and you want to buy one, or if you want to hang out with us, we're doing an event on November 3rd. It's going to be Botanical Bingo. So it comes with something like this in a bag and a few tickets so we can play bingo. I almost said we're going to fellowship. We're going to fellowship with the cannabis community and with the people who make this plant so amazing. And yeah, it's going to be great. So I will hope to see you out there. Check you next time. Bye. Boo, boo, boo.